So there's 7 reasons. I'm going to highlight 2 today. And like I said, in my intensive webinar, I'm going to have the opportunity and time to go over these more in depth. But I'm going to highlight today what is an upside down hierarchy and what is the idea of parenting with love and limits. And you're going to see that disrespect disrupts this balance. And you've got a set of parents that may have love without limits or limits without loves, and kids with extreme disrespect will eat you alive when there's an imbalance and an upside down hierarchy. And I'll show you what that means. Then I'm going to also highlight briefly parent abuse or teen terrorism, how kids use it. In our research, we found that they use 7 aces, like a poker player who has an ace up their sleeve, to totally turn around a poker tournament. And we found that these kids will use this and ratchet up the stress to get the parent to scare them into submission and to basically say, I give up my authority. And we're actually dealing with this with our kids right now. And I'll share that in a minute. I'm also going to talk briefly about interactional trauma. This is something that we learned over the years in the book Treating the Traumatized Child. I think it's the first time this term was coined in our field. But this is really the game changer moment, that if you can't stabilize interactional trauma, you can't go to second base. And in my intensive webinar, and I'll talk about it today, many parents do not have the skills going in to practice their delivery before they introduce a contract. They don't know how to troubleshoot. And you'll see in the video, the kid eats the parents alive and the therapist, because the therapist does not have this tool in their tool belt. Also, what happens is that extreme disrespect has tremendous fallout. It destroys or damages attachment. And never forget this statement, and I use it with parents: rules without relationships lead to rebellion. So even when you put limits or help the parents establish consistent discipline, you've got to help them understand that if there's no relationship or connection before correction, that they're going to start to get resentful, and they're going to stop liking their kids, and all the limits in the world are not going to last. You can't stop disrespect with just limits. It has to be love. But unfortunately, when parents are putting out flames, the kid's swearing at them, saying F you every day, the last thing the parent wants to do is be nurturing. And that's actually driving the disrespect. So it's what's called a vicious cycle. Also, more and more kids today, and I'm going to be talking about this in my intensive, how many, by a show of hands, see we've got a culture right now where the kids have more and more a sense of entitlement, and they have no self-control. They want it hot and they want it now. And you can see it. They leave the job that they're working on if they have a hangnail or if they don't get enough breaks. We have bubble parenting right now, or parents parent in a bubble, and they're afraid of their kids, and they're afraid of and everybody deserves equal time in terms of discussion. And they skip the season of leadership and parenting. And this sense of entitlement and no self-control is really creating the perfect storm. And did you know that the research shows that many people think a great predictor of being able to go from a kid to an adult is IQ, social skills. But the number one thing that they're finding with kids that fail as adults is they never learned self-control. So this is a really big deal, and parents skip the season of leadership and move right into the season of friendship. They want to be their kid's best friend, and I'm seeing more and more families skip the season of leadership. So